We've gone over a few different wall fighting situations in the past, but one thing we haven't covered is what do you do when you're initially slammed up against the wall? Now, a lot of times if you are in an altercation and a person starts slamming you, you're caught off guard with it. You're not always aware that there is something behind you. So when they do slam you into that wall, go ahead, and he pushes you in initially, a couple things are going to happen. One, you have a good chance of hitting your head, which if that's the case, you're going to completely stun yourself. But two, now I'm in a position where I may or may not necessarily even be able to defend myself as effectively compared to if I learn and train myself how to, I guess, brace the impact a little bit better. I'm up against the wall, you maintain your grips, you drop your weight, you start working your strikes, you start off setting your balance a little bit, make this person pull in. That's all great and dandy, but if this person's real strong and they've driven into you, if he's really pressuring into me and I start trying to drop my weight, it's gonna be very difficult for me to be able to maneuver as freely. Now, the difference is again, if I feel him starting to push me, I need to brace the fall in a way that puts me into a more dominant and more tactical position to defend myself. So as much as possible, when you are getting pushed into a wall, try and fall somewhat on a slanted angle so that when I land, now I'm already off-centered. I'm in a position where my weight is already shifted, so it's easy for me to start throwing kicks. It's easy for me to start throwing strikes, but more importantly, he's now off balance in a way. So compared to this position where he's completely centered, you can understand that I don't have as far as a reach compared to when I turn on the side. Now I can even reach behind his head, but two, you can already see that his weight is starting to shift closer to this wall, which again gives me more of a tactical position. So if he's really slamming me into the wall and I go into that spot, this puts me in a nice, safe, and secure spot. Again, I'm in a tactical position and I can work from there. The key when you come to wall situations like this is the second I hit the wall, it's not a time for me to collect my thoughts. I hit and I have to go to work immediately. Even if you're not quite sure what to do yet, just start throwing strikes and start working out from there. So a couple different options from this position. If it's just a simple grab, try and maintain one of the grips if you can. An easy one is to simply just throw this hand up right in the middle, strike the throat, use an open hand a little bit so you're not damaging the throat. If anything, you're just gonna knock the wind out of the person. But if you do this right, there's a very good chance that their hands are gonna let go and collapse back to the face, which if that's the case, explode off the wall, work your strikes, and you start working your distance out of there. Real simple, easy way, but again, it has to be done. So he slams right away, I strike immediately, get that strike in there, and I start working the rest of my strikes, throw your knees, and we create that space. If we want to work him onto the wall from here, because again, his weight has already started to shift forward, so I'm gonna help him. Take this hand, I've grabbed here, this hand is gonna smack the side of the head, so one, it's a strike, but two, I can start using that momentum as I shift my weight, start throwing him into the wall a little bit. Again, I can start working elbows, start working knees, and we're just working ourselves back off the wall again to now get ourselves into a dominant position. If you feel like you need to take control from here, then I can come back in and control the person. We start working that cross collar grip we went over a few weeks ago. I can take the person down if I want to, so you do have setup options from there. I can strike the face, I can throw kicks from here to create the distance a little bit. I can collapse the arm to bring him in, start throwing knees, and again, we work him into the wall and we start striking. The biggest thing with this one overall is not so much the fact of what you're doing necessarily to get off the wall. There's a ton of options that you can use. It's more so the fact of I have to position myself in a manner that allows me to react quickly. And again, even if you're not quite sure what to do, he throws you back in. Just simply breaking those arms free and start working right away is a great option. But if I try and do that same exact movement from a standard fall, it doesn't work. I don't have the leverage, I don't have that momentum. I physically cannot come across this way compared to when I'm already off on the side. It just doesn't physically work in that manner. And again, I'm gonna spend more time in this position having to drop my weight, shift my weight, try and work these different angles while the whole time this person's trying to keep my pressure up against here. We're gonna go over an example again just to kind of demonstrate how hard it is for me to move from this position. His job is to simply keep me in place. So if he's really holding me and pushing me up against the wall and I'm trying to like move and get to a different angle, very difficult. You can do it, but it takes a lot of work to get out of that position. Now, same spot, he throws me and I'm here. Same exact situation, I'm just simply gonna try and work myself out of it. So he's holding on as tight as he can. It's a lot easier because I'm already off on that angle. It gives me that upper hand, but you have to train yourself to fall and land. I'm not landing completely in my arm, landing on the side of your back, and simply from there. Understand that when it comes to self-defense, it's not necessarily just about the techniques that you're using on the person, it's how you position yourself in the fight from the start. So you understand, okay, I'm about to go into a wall, up against a car, up against a window, something of that sort where my back is about to be put up against something. Put yourself in a tactical position. Land in a position that gives you the upper hand immediately rather than having to fight to that spot first. So you completely take out a whole set of moves that you have to worry about. It puts you in a good position to begin with. and then that means I can go to work right away instead of having to struggle. So give that a shot. Understand, again, position is key when it comes to self-defense. Try it. Let us know what you think.